In this economy? Oh my god, I'm so cold. I have some kind of something. A flesh-eating virus. Just kidding.
I'm so hot.
I'm freezing. Oh my, I'm not even gonna need this until we start, and then I'm gonna have to go like this.
I can't believe you're in a sweater.
I'm so cold. I literally have goosebumps. Okay, I want you to try this.
Oh! Oh.
Please try it. It's from the Filipino market, and
Where's the Filipino market?
it's in downtown New West. Downtown. It was down the street from the passport place. And
Oh, it smells good.
It's so freaking good, dude.
Oh.
It's so crunchy.
Mm.
Isn't it so good? Okay. Would you like to get into frame? Just eating chicken.
That was yum.
So good. You can have more. Should we adjust
Why is it? Yeah, it looks so blown out.
Is it this? That's a little better.
That's weird.
That's weird.
Because I think because we're sitting right under the lights. Under my Soltec.
So do we have to move
Forward.
Wow,
that's worse. You know what makes it look good though?
When I'm not sitting there.
When the tent's open,
Oh.
it balances the light.
Oh, you're
Oh my
right.
god, that hot air.
Yes.
Ah. Does it look better?
Waft it to me, yes. So
Maybe.
wow.
Oh my god.
Holy Anthurium.
Holy, that air that just came out. Look
I
at
don't
it.
even feel it. How sick am I? Oh my god. Hello and welcome back to another video. I am joined here today with Alice.
Hello.
AKA You Don't Even Grow Here. We have not filmed together in so long.
I know.
When's the last time we filmed together?
ago.
I was still
Wait.
pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was when we last went live on Palm Street.
Oh, dang.
This chicken skin is still crunching.
It's so good. Sorry to all the vegans out there.
Sorry.
We are carnivores. So today, as the title says, we are going live on Palm Street. And I've talked about Palm Street before in another video. I will link any and all Palm Street related videos in the description. But it's essentially an app where sellers go live, sell plants, sell pots, sell crystals. You can hang out, you purchase straight through the app, your card info is in there, you can check the tracking and everything, and it is super cool. So today we are going to be joining forces with Pau and Josh from Woohoo Tropicals. And it's branded as like a repot and chat hangout. We're not going to be repotting everything because she is hot as hell in both ways.
Light repotting for me. You can just sit there.
I'm going to just sit here. I can probably like be the one to read comments and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm not feeling well. I don't know what it is, but I woke up today feeling like hell. So yeah, we are going to get set up here because it starts in 10
Holy crap, 10 minutes. Okay, I better set up my phone too.
Yeah. Oh my god, my head is pounding. I'm sorry to any vegetarians and vegans watching this, but I'm gonna be eating
It's just meat.
jerky. I know, it's all meat. Oh my god, my burp tastes like oil of oregano. You look youthful. That's so funny. I'm over here like... I'm gonna have to pee.
Hi guys!
Hi!
Yo! So many people. Hello!
Hello! Hi guys! What are we all doing on what's today?
Friday.
Oh, it's Friday.
Is it a long weekend in the States?
Wait, why is it a long weekend here?
BC Day.
It's always something. Friendship Day, Family Day. Oh.
Audio. Oh. Okay, where's Woohoo?
Oh no.
Where's Woohoo?
Do you think it's mine?
Oh, it might be your mic.
Okay, let me turn off my mic and see if that works.
I'm like, yeah. Okay.
Let's move this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Kim.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
Oh, sorry. You guys just let us know if the audio messes up again.
Right now, you guys sound totally fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Thank
good.
God.
That's good.
Yay!
Yeah, what's it? Sorry.
Oh no.
Sorry.
Sorry.
To find them. Where are they? Where are they? Where'd they go?
How and Josh? Baby's good.
Oh, the audio's messing up again. Okay, let me move. I don't.
Oh no. Maybe we should just not use my.
Oh no.
Oh no. Okay. So obviously there was a change in plans. Unfortunately, I did not get to record the Palm Street live because me and Alice were having some mic interference, and I had COVID. So I was literally, I felt like I was on my deathbed that day, and truth be told, I probably should have stayed home. I probably should not have gone because that night was just awful, and I talked about it in a previous video, but it was like the worst weekend ever. I almost had to go to the ER, had a fever of 104 for 3 days, and yeah, it just was so bad. So in a way, I'm kind of glad that I didn't record it because I don't really want to relive how I was feeling. But anyway, hey guys, welcome back. We have kind of a different video instead of the Palm Street Live. Hopefully I can record the next one that we do, but it was really fun. If you guys don't follow Pao and Josh at Woohoo, please do. I will link them in the description. They are so sweet, so nice. And yeah, so anyway, I do have to talk kind of quietly. It is, where's my phone? Oh no. Oh no, I need my phone. Oh, it's right there. Okay, it is 5:45 in the morning, and usually Archie is pretty active from like 7 a.m. onward. So I'm gonna try and finish this video beforehand, but it would honestly be a miracle if I finished this in one go. I have a feeling I'm not gonna actually finish until the afternoon because I'm gonna have to keep getting up and tending to him. But anyway, let's just get started. I have been withholding many plants from you guys on this channel. Granted, I haven't been posting that much, but ever since the beginning of summer and even before summer, I have been getting new plants. And so I know on this channel I've been showing you guys that I've been downsizing a lot, purging a lot of plants, and that's because I knew that I had always had these plans to bring in plants from the States. So I have, I think, 15 plants here that I'm going to show you that I've acquired primarily through Palm Street and then through a few other sellers. I got some in a trade, and yeah, very, very exciting. Mostly Anthurium. I have 2 non-Anthurium, and I think I'm going to start with that. I'm actually just going to insert a clip of this plant next to me because it was not fun to get up there and I really don't want to have to take it down. But the first one that I picked up is actually my most recent acquisition. I purchased it on Facebook Marketplace, and that is a Rhipsalis paradoxa. So I have had kind of a tumultuous relationship with my paradoxa. I acquired my first one ever back in 2021, I think, and it started as a small plant. It was probably like cuttings this big, and over like the next year I would have grown it to probably around 5 feet long, maybe like 3 or 4 feet long. Like, it got pretty long. I was having a great time with it. We were getting along just fine. And then suddenly I think it was one winter, it just randomly rotted. The entire plant rotted. I hadn't done anything different. I think the only thing that had changed was maybe the light levels, even though it was getting light from a burina, so it was like pretty much a controlled environment. But either way, the base had completely rotted, and yeah, I had to chop it back down to cuttings. I was having a hard time rooting them. I lost, I want to say, 80% of the plant, and so ever since then I've been wanting to replace it just because it's one of my all-time favorite trailing plants. And I'm not gonna lie, ever since that experience I have been a little bit scared of it, and so I wanted to get an established plant, and I wanted to just I wanted a plant that I knew I could just leave for a long time, that I didn't have to worry about repotting it anytime soon, or just figuring out the potting situation. So when I saw this on Marketplace, I was like, I knew that I had to get it. Obviously it wasn't the best time because I have Archie and leaving the house is really difficult, but I felt like if I had passed this up, I would have regretted it. And I think it was only like $35 for this massive pot, which I can remember a time where I was talking about how hard it was to find the Rhipsalis paradoxa and how I wish that we had more access to them at, you know, fair prices. And we're there, we are here. They're selling them in our local stores for like dirt cheap now, for like big old pots. And I have a feeling I know where this pot came from. I think it came from one of the bigger nurseries that we have here, which is about an hour away from me. And honestly, I don't mind paying a markup on plants that people bring in from that store and sell here in the Lower Mainland, because for me it's a convenience fee. I'm not gonna drive an hour out to go pick up these plants, and so if I have to pay a surcharge for people that are taking the time to go out there and bring it back, I'm more than happy to. And honestly, the person that sold me this plant could have charged way more for it, like just based on how big, bushy, and healthy it is. And yeah, I just felt like this was an absolute score. So, okay, that's the first plant. The second plant, oh my gosh, I am so excited about. I'm gonna go through after, I didn't get the Rhipsalis paradoxa on Palm Street, obviously, but the next few plants I did acquire on Palm Street, and I just kind of wanted to start with those. So this next one, was I in California? No, I wasn't in California. So I remember there was one day Alice texted me and she was like blowing up my phone. She was like, Monstera sierrana on Palm Street, someone selling them dirt cheap. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I think I was still heavily pregnant, and I jumped on the app really quick. And yeah, I was able to manage. Am I having a stroke? I was able to manage. No, I was able to, what's going on? I managed, not I was able to manage. I managed, oh my gosh. I managed to score a plant that has been on my wish list for literal years, you guys. I have been wanting this plant since, I want to say 2019. I first saw this plant. I wasn't really, in 2019, I didn't have like a really good understanding of all of the different types of Monstera that were out there. But when I saw this one, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to have it. It's so beautiful. I found one online. I saw the price. I fainted. I passed away. I was like, oh, I'm never gonna own this plant because it was like in the thousands. I think for a small plant, it was probably in like a 5 or 6 inch pot. I think it was like $6,000 or something. And I was like, yeah, well, there goes that dream. So this is my Monstera sierrana. I hope my autofocus is working. I'm trying a different setting on my camera to help with like the exposure and stuff, but I find that it's kind of messing with the focus a little bit. So anyway, this is my little tiny Monstera sierrana. I got this from Rooted Rarities on Palm Street. And oh there, okay, it takes a little bit longer to focus, but I got this for a steal of a deal, and I am so sorry to Rooted Rarities, but it was an absolute fluke that I got this at the price that it was at. I need to remind myself how much I got it for. By the way, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I get a lot of questions about people wanting to access the Palm Street app through Canada or in Canada. Here's a secret: you can access it, you just can't buy from Canada unless you have a US shipping address, which is what I do. They don't actually ship to me directly. I don't have any like special privileges in terms of that, but I usually have it shipped to my mom in Rancho Cordova. So anyway, let me just remind myself how much I snagged this for, and I will tell you guys the little story about how that came to be or how that happened. Sorry, so if you're in Canada, you can download a VPN. I will show you the VPN that I'm using on my phone, and you basically set your location to somewhere in the States. Make sure you use a free version, don't pay for it. It's like with ads, but like you see one ad when you first turn it on and then you're good to go. So if you turn your VPN on, you can at least watch the lives, you can see what people are selling, you can chat and stuff, you can follow some of your favorite sellers, but unfortunately you can't buy. But anyway, here's my Monstera sierrana. I got it for $60 through Rooted Rarities plus $25 credit or $25 shipping. Sorry you guys, it's so early and my brain hasn't fully turned on yet. I probably should drink more of my coffee. By the way, I know we are boycotting Starbucks. This is a reusable cup. This is not, I didn't like just order from them. Oh my gosh, Archie is stirring. You don't know fear until you see a stirring child in bed while you're trying to do something. What happened was they were selling Monstera sierrana. They sold one. I jumped on the live. I said, do you have any more? And they just pulled one out and were like, we have this one, we can chop it. And they were gonna put it on their live for auction, because you can put a flat price and you can also put things at auction. People can bid, and it's like a live auction thing, and it's pretty cool. So they were supposed to do it on auction, but she accidentally set it for a set price at 60. So it was supposed to be starting at 60 and then people would bid, but she did a set price at 60. And I didn't know like really what was happening. Everything was happening so fast. There were multiple people interested in the Monstera sierrana, so I knew I had to jump on it quickly. So when I saw on the app that it was set at a buy it now price for 60, I was like, oh, maybe that's just like a mistake. So I'm gonna put in my bid. So I put in the 60 to start. I was gonna start the bidding, and then it just went through and I bought it. And she was like, oh my gosh, I totally did that on accident. Like that was a mistake. And I was like, oh no, like what do we do? She was like, you know, it's fine. Like you just got it for like a really good price. And so I just felt like the universe came together for this fluke to happen for me. So I got my dream plant that used to be in the absolute thousands and thousands and thousands for $60, which is just madness to me. So yeah, this is her. She's very humble. She's a good starter plant. Unfortunately, it did have thrips recently. You can see some of the damage that it left on the leaves, but you know what? After having like multiple rounds of spider mites and being so frustrated trying to get rid of them, when I see thrips now, I'm like, I have my sprays that work for them. I know to just keep them isolated for a while, and then they honestly eventually go away with like the right treatment. But I feel like I do the same. I have the same mindset with the spider mites, and they just keep coming back. So I am no longer scared of thrips anymore. It's a good place to be mentally, honestly, because it just they always find their way back in, and I don't know how. But yeah, right now it doesn't really look like much. It just looks like a regular Monstera, but honestly, I am so anxious and excited to, one, have this in my house, and two, to kind of see it go from its juvenile form into its more mature form. I do plan on getting this onto a pole once it grows a little bit more. I was supposed to get this aerial root originally into a pole, but it ended up rooting into the substrate. So we're just gonna keep waiting, but yeah, it is well established now because, like I mentioned, I did get this as a cutting. It was a fresh cutting. They shipped it in perlite. It rooted beautifully in perlite. Kept it in perlite for probably about two months or something, and then I recently repotted it into here, and it actually needs to be watered. So yeah, this is one that I got from Palm Street. I am so grateful. And yeah, I'm excited to kind of document the growth here on YouTube. No, please stay asleep. Don't wake up. Shh. I'm so scared. because once I get interrupted, my train of thought is gonna be, it's already like all over the place. It's gonna be so much worse. Okay, so here's another plant that I acquired on Palm Street from a seller named Plant Babe. And she is so sweet and so nice, and I'm so happy to have one of her plants. So she specializes in smaller seedlings, her own hybrids, and I believe she also works with other sellers as like an exclusive seller to sell their seedlings, from what I can gather. So I got this AOS dark form crossed with the Fort Sherman Ralph-Linum from J. Vanini. And I got it as a plant that it was like literally seedling, like the leaf was so tiny. And I kind of noticed as the leaf started getting bigger that there was the slightest bit of green on green variegation, and I don't even know if it's picking up on camera. It is so hard to see, but it's there, and you can kind of see it more on this bigger leaf. This one got stuck. It was in this exo, and there were like so many plants in here at one point. Everything was squished. So when this new leaf came out, it got a little bit dinged up, but you can see like the kind of weird pattern on it. And yeah, it's got this really interesting like green on green variegation, and it's not quite, obviously it's not sectoral, but it's not, what's that other word? Oh God, his eyes are open. They are completely open. He's just staring into the camera. Oh no, oh no. What's that word for that variegation that looks kind of sickly? I don't remember, but it's kind of like a cross in between both. I don't know if it's gonna stay. It's kind of presenting less and less as each leaf comes out. I don't think I took a picture of one of the first variegated leaves, but it was so clear that it was going to be variegated. But it's interesting, as it's hardening off and as the leaves age, it's almost like the variegation gets kind of camouflaged, and it just sort of goes away a little bit, because now I'm looking at these older leaves that used to have very clear variegation, and it's just gone. But anyway, you know, I didn't buy this plant for variegation. I bought it, please focus. It's having such a hard time focusing now with my exposure. Oh, there. Oh no, Archie's awake. So anyway, yeah, I am really excited to see how this one matures. I think right now it's looking more like an Ace of Spades. And the Fort Sherman Ralph-Linum genes, I'm not really sure where that is going to come into play, because right now I kind of just see Ace, which I'm not mad about because I have such a hard time with my Ace of Spades dark form. I always have the Ace Pox. I don't know if you guys know what Ace Pox is, but mine has such a bad case of it, and it just turns out so crappy. Every new leaf that comes out, I'm like, ugh, I just can never have a nice leaf. But yeah, it seems to have taken the shape of the Ace of Spades. It's taken kind of the, I guess, the color of the Ace of Spades. It has sort of that reddish venation like the Ace as well. And I just feel like this is probably gonna look more like an Ace than a Fort Sherman Ralph-Linum. But yeah, this is what it looks like so far. It is getting a lot bigger now. I do need to upsize the pot. It's growing in my soil tree fern mix. And yeah, it could probably move into maybe one of my big square pots now. And hopefully we see some size jump, because I do think that this is gonna be a really cute cross. So I am super happy to have this. And my child is awake, so we are gonna take our first intermission. You will go on an ad break, and I'm gonna go on an Archie break. My child is on the playmat in the living room. I don't know how long he will lay there by himself, but I figure we need to just chip away at this every free second we get. Okay, so the next few ones, actually, the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next 5 plants that are from Palm Street are actually from Woohoo Tropicals. I have done a video before on Woohoo Tropicals before. They're based out of Texas. I will link them in the description. Their plants are amazing. Their hybrids are amazing. I am so grateful to have plants from them at all. So we are just gonna go through the few that I have acquired. These two I am so effing excited about, and hopefully I can find a picture that they used for their selling photo, because when I saw this, I texted Alice and Jing. I was like, I need this so much so that I got 2 of them. So this is a AOS dark form crossed with a Dressleri CV Eastern Panama Woo 1, and my hope was that these seedlings would stay dark, and it's been absolutely living up to the expectation. Like, look at that. Where's the venation? There is none. And look at how round and fluffy they are. I cannot even begin to tell you guys like how incredible these plants are in person. The leaf is thicker than some of the Anthurium that I've had before that are around this size. It's got a really thick leaf. It has like a round lily pad shape. The sheen of it is like very, very muted, and it's super dark, and it has this like greenish blue color almost, and I am just so happy to have it, and I'm really, really hoping that they grow well for me. This one is a bit, I mean, they're from the same seed batch, but this one is slightly smaller, but this one kind of has like the weird spotty thing going on that I've been having an issue with a lot of my Anthurium, and there's a few I think that I'm gonna show you that are showing signs of it, and I don't know what it is, you guys. I'm still trying to figure it out. Anyway, yeah, I feel like this plant got the best traits from both parents, but I do think that it's taking more of the dress traits, if I'm not mistaken. I feel like I mean I am seeing some Ace of Spades on here, but I'm really, really seeing the dress genes come through, and I'm not mad at it at all, because I don't know if I want to own a dress anymore. I love that plant. It has been on my wish list for such a long time, but I've heard about the finickiness of it and like how temperamental it can be, and I am 100% in a place now where I'm like, if there's a plant that is just giving me so much grief, I'm just getting rid of it. I'm not even thinking twice about it. I don't care how much I've loved it in the past. If it's too much work, it's just not allowed in my house anymore. But I am very excited about these. I think this is probably my favorite out of all. No, I'm looking at the little roster here. I'm like, I can't say this is my favorite out of all of my newest acquisitions, but definitely up there. So I don't know if they're selling any more of these seedlings. I'm sure they have more. I'm just not sure if they're like waiting to grow it out a little bit more before they sell it. But yeah, if you can get your hands on one, I highly recommend it. It is such a beautiful little plant. Okay, and then the next 2 are both red crystallinums. I have been wanting to hoard red crystals because I want to breed them. I want to eventually grow them to flowering size and hopefully get some cool crosses, because I just love anything crossed with a red crystal. So I have 2 different kinds here. This one is the red crystallinum 9394 XL from Woohoo Tropicals. This one does not have really super strong red crystal vibes from what I'm seeing right now. Let me show it to you in comparison to my other red crystal that I got from my friend Amanda. Whoa, Merry Christmas. You guys, this red crystal took probably 2 years to start acting right. It was a stump for so long, and it's only now starting to give me some decent leaves, but this is the Amanda red crystal next to this red crystal, and you can see like this has the classic red crystal veins, red crystal venation, the red. This one, not so much. It's got a little bit more muted venation, not a ton of red, but I'm actually quite happy to have some variation in the red crystals that I have in my collection, because I think I have 3 or 4. Do I have a 4th red crystal somewhere? I actually might, and I don't even remember where it would have been from. But I think I might have one, or maybe I don't. I don't know. But yeah, it looks quite different, and it has a new leaf coming out. This one has a little bit of the spots, but honestly, I'm kind of thinking this might be from like the alcohol spray that I've been doing. Granted, I don't really ever use it on emergent leaves, but one could have slipped through cracks. I don't know, because this doesn't strike me as anything fungally. That looks to me as like something happened when it was emerging or something. But yeah, so that's the first red crystal. The second red crystal is this one, and this one is the red crystal Woo for Self. And this one looks way more red crystal than the other one, and has a lot brighter venation. And yeah, looks more like that guy behind me back there. And it's got like these cute little watermelon leaves. Unfortunately, this one does have sort of that weird fungally spots. This looks different than the spots that are on this one. Like this one looks more cosmetic, like something happened to it. This one looks very, very fungally because the spots are not super hard, if you know what I mean. Like it's got like sort of the soft edges and like a halo. So we're still trying to figure things out here. It has been extremely frustrating, I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, I'm gonna figure it out. I am pretty determined. So I'm excited to see how this one grows. I think it might look pretty similar to that one behind me, but that one, actually no, I thought that red crystal was gonna have really round leaves, but it's starting to get more elongated as it matures, and I think they're gonna have the same kind of leaf shape. But I do think the venation on this one is a little bit more, what's the word, like bleedy, and I think it's a little thicker than my other red crystal. So yeah, anxious to see how this guy turns out. But honestly, there was a time where I was like, I'm never gonna own a red crystal, like it's just out of reach, out of budget, and to now have 3 of them kind of blows my mind. So even if I don't have like the red crystal of my dreams that, you know, I see in Instagram photos and stuff, I am just grateful to have any of them in my collection at all. Okay, I think I've got one more. I can hear Archie starting to get really anxious over there, so hopefully I can just get through. I'm just trying to cross off my list. I love lists, you guys. I don't know, I live for lists. Crossing things off, it just makes me feel so alive. Okay, I have one more somewhere that came from Palm Street. Where are you? Where are you? Oh, here. Okay, so this one looks kind of crappy as well. It's got some of that fungally stuff. It has some spider mite damage, but this is an AOS dark form crossed with an Anthurium Oliver, also from Woohoo Tropicals. I wish that I had a nicer leaf to show you, but you can see it's kind of going through it. So I want to say, I don't know, it's hard to tell right now because just based on this leaf, I thought it was going to be more round, but you can see we are elongating a little bit. If I had to guess, even though the AOS is the mother, I want to say that it's going to take a lot of the Anthurium genes, and I wouldn't be mad at it because obviously that is a beautiful plant. But if I could get some of like that red from the AOS, that would be really great. I also wouldn't mind a leaf shape like an Ace of Spades, but I think it's gonna take the Anthurium leaf shape just I don't really see a lot of the heart shape thing going on, because you know the Ace of Spades has that sort of, I wish I didn't cut that leaf off yesterday, but it's got like that classic sort of elongated heart shape leaf shape, heart leaf. Did I say that already? You guys know what I mean. I can see a lot of Anthurium venation in this. Oh, come on. Anthurium venation. It seems like it's going to be pretty muted, which is great. The leaf isn't super velvety. Surprisingly, in person, it kind of has the texture of like a Lux hybrid. Not like a pure Lux where it's super shiny, but like just a hybrid of a Lux, because it's almost got that semi matte, semi glossy kind of texture. And I don't know if you're able to see it, but I don't know, like I would look at this plant and not even be surprised. I would have guessed maybe it was like a complex Lux hybrid, but no. And it actually resembles the Lux Fort Sherman, the Lux Ralph Lineham Fort Sherman. It resembles that plant a lot, and I think I have a decent leaf to show you on here, maybe. This is my Lux Ralph Lineham Fort Sherman that I got from Bunny, and you can see it has like that same leaf sheen and texture. Like I mean, obviously it's not as pebbly, but just in terms of like velvetiness, it's definitely got kind of Lux vibes to it. So that is that plant. Not much to see as of right now, but I do think the next leaf that comes after this is going to show a lot more of the traits that are going to come through with this plant. So we will see, and hopefully I can get this dang fungally thing under control. But yeah, that is all of the plants that I acquired from Palm Street. I think there actually might be like 2 more that I might have gotten, but they just don't look great right now, and I didn't really want to show them on camera until it looked a little bit better. But yeah, I am just so grateful for the app. I'm so grateful for the sellers on Palm Street, and yeah, hopefully over the winter we can get some nice growth. So I'm gonna take another break because I feel bad that Archie is just out there all alone. So yeah, I'm gonna take a little break here and I will be right back. Moving right along, I have a plant from my sweet friend Amanda, and this one I am very, very excited about because one of the parent plants is a plant that I have been wanting as well, but I think that I have taken it off my wish list now just because I've been kind of overwhelmed with how many plants I have. I think because I've been acquiring so many seeds and seedlings, it's now that they're all growing, I'm like, wait, there's actually so many plants. So I think I need to learn how to decipher which plants I can admire from afar and which ones I like really need in my house. And I feel like the Ace of Perp, it's a beautiful plant. I'll throw it in next to me, but I'm not quite sure it's a necessity, regardless if the acquisition ever happens. I now have a hybrid of it. So this is a Magnificum crossed with an Ace of Perp, and I just feel like it got the best traits from both parents. I can definitely see some mag here with the venation as it gets more mature. Not so much with the older leaves. And I'm not sure if it's because the leaves are so elongated, but it's just so beautiful. And this emergent leaf is just gorgina. This color and the sheen, very much giving Ace of Perp vibes. And I almost feel like I'm scratching that itch with this plant to the point where I just, yeah, the desire to have an Ace of Perp is just not as strong as it was before. Now, whether I would actually take the plant if it presented itself to me, that's a whole other story. But this hybrid is just beautiful, and I do hope that it has you know, that hybrid vigor, and that this one grows really strong and really well. And it seems to be on track right now, just in terms of like leaf jump, leaf size, maturity, all of that. Luckily, knock on wood, don't have the weird fungally thing going on, even though it's been in the same exo as some of the plants that have had the fungal thing. But it's just growing really beautifully right now, and it's obviously still very soft. It's hardening off. Sorry, I filmed another video yesterday and I'm kind of losing my voice. But yeah, it's really pretty. It's hard to really capture the colors of this emergent leaf, but it has a lot of pink in the venation, even though it's kind of just presenting as like really silver on camera. It has a lot of pink in it. The emergent leaf color is like that bronzy reddish color, and I love it a lot. I think, if I can remember, I haven't owned a pure Magnificum in a long time, but I think this might be similar to an emergent mag leaf, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I feel like this is gonna be a really, really nice one, and I do hope that it keeps how elongated it is. Oh, that's a child screaming. He's in his swing right now, and there's definitely a max time he'll stay in there until he starts getting bored. So where did I put that plant? Oh yeah, so anyway, it's very, very beautiful. I kind of see this becoming a favorite of mine, just because, I don't know, it just has all the traits that I really like in an Anthurium, and just based on the hardened off leaves, I think it's gonna be a really nice one. It doesn't seem to have really, really silver venation. It almost has like a greenish tint to the venation, which is really nice. So hopefully we continue along that path, because if so, this is gonna be a really, really nice hybrid. I don't know if the mic picked up my tummy rumbling. Oh my word. Oh no. What's wrong, baby? Oh, what happened? Are you sad? Why are you sad? Okay, so these next two plants are recent imports. I recently imported a few King of Spades, and then I imported a King of Spades hybrid. And I was gonna show you the King of Spades that I imported, but honestly, the one that I kept, because I gave the nicer one to my mom, it's not really all that special. It's just kind of whatever right now, so I didn't include it in this list. But I did get two King of Spades red crystals, and holy smokes, am I so glad that I ended up getting two of them, because they're both quite different just in terms of leaf shape. They both have very, very heavy red crystal genes, especially on the emergent leaf. Like the venation on that, the silver on it, the really pink venation in between the silver, that is all red crystal. I am not really sure how the King of Spades is presenting, honestly, because to me this kind of seems like it could be a red crystal, like, I don't know. I don't look at this plant and see red crystal HU or HU red crystal. I just don't. I think because when I think of the King of Spades, I think of something that's really round. And actually, maybe now that I'm looking at it, the bleeding venation on the silver, I think that's where the King of Spades comes in, because the King of Spades tends to have venation that kind of bleeds like that. I mean, so does the red crystal though. So I don't really know. Either way, I'm just really glad to have this hybrid. It's super beautiful. It's growing really well. I didn't have any issues with acclimatizing these at all. Honestly, I left them in a bin for like 2 months and just let them do their thing, and now they're super rooted into this soil tree fern mixture. And I was a little worried because the King of Spades kind of freaks me out a little bit. I find it to be kind of a harder plant for me to grow. It doesn't like once you have it established, it's not like it like rots or gets stuck in the sheath. That's not really the issues that I have with it. The issue that I have with it is propagating it and dividing it. I find it to be hard to root. I find that the stem kind of mushes and rots really easily, and so I wasn't sure how it was gonna be in terms of importing, because I did have to chop off a lot of the roots and start over, but it did just fine. So I think I'm only gonna keep one, and I'm tempted to keep the one with the rounder leaf, even though this one's bigger. But I might, before I sell this, take like a cutting or something. I'm not sure what I want to do yet. I'm not really in any rush to get rid of them. I kind of want to see how they mature, because I might end up liking the one that has a longer leaf more than the rounder leaf, but at this point I don't really see that happening, because look at how sweet and precious this new leaf is. Like, are you joking? It's so cute. It's like the perfect heart-shaped leaf. It has really, really thick bleedy venation, and you can see a lot of that red from the red crystal, and this is just, it's just so pretty. You guys, he fell asleep. I might actually get to finish this video. That would be an absolute miracle. I'd be so happy. Obviously, once, you know, I edit this in post-production, it's gonna be a lot smoother, but right now it just, so many cuts and breaks. Okay, so since I just showed you a King of Spades hybrid, I want to show you another one. I can almost guarantee you that this is gonna be in my top 5 favorite plants in my collection, or top 5 Anthurium in my collection. So I got this from my sweet friend Dania. If you guys don't follow Dania on Instagram, you have to. I say, did I just wake my kid up? Honestly, I'm the freaking worst, you guys. I was so worried about like Pudge being disruptive with Archie's sleep and stuff like that, but the problem is me, not him. So anyway, I say this all the time. Anytime I get a chance to talk about Dania, I always say she's the one who should have a YouTube. She's the one who should be teaching you guys about how to grow these plants. Her plants are freaking amazing. I'm gonna throw in a few photos here just as examples of like I have never, honestly, I'm gonna just be straight up, I've never grown a plant as large as she's been able to grow it. Like, even with some of my best growers, like the Glorious, the Tortum, Dean McDowell, oh my god, my stomach. The Dean McDowell, they've never been as big as her plants grow. So follow Dania. She has beautiful plants. Go pick her brain. Sorry, Dania, I'm sending people your way, but pick her brain about how she grows her plants and tell her to start a dang YouTube channel. So anyway, this is one of her crosses, and I just cannot get over how much I love this plant. So this is a King of Spades crossed with a Tazula red crystallinum. You guys, if a dream plant ever existed, it is this one. Look at how precious this is. This is precious.com. This is Precious Town, USA. The roundness it got, okay, so it got the King of Spades leaf shape, so round and delicious and fluffy. It got the thickness of the King of Spades. It's a very, very thick leaf, but it did get the red crystal sort of color in the venation and in that sinus. And the leaf is so dark too. Like, look at the color of this leaf. And like, I love how it took the King of Spades Venation, but it's a little bit thinner. I don't know if it's going to get thicker as it gets larger, but I can't really explain to you how much I love this plant. I can't. To me, this is the perfect hybrid. This is two of the best Anthurium you could have squished together. And I'm sure that the parent plants were absolutely gorgeous because this plant is just freaking stunning. And there's a new leaf coming out and I'm so excited to see how it turns out. Hopefully it's bigger than this one, but this is one that is going to be so precious to me. I am hoping that we can get more leaves on this so that I can chop it because I want to get insurance. I don't want to sell a cutting of this plant. I want insurance on this plant. Just in case anything happens with my track record, you never really freaking know. Oh, I thought that was a mushroom. Is that a mushroom? No, it's a big ass perlite. And yeah, I just want to make sure that I have like a safety net just in case anything happens, because I just freaking love this plant so much. And I'm hoping that I can maybe get another cutting along the way so that I can give a cutting to my mom. She's not a huge Anthurium lover. Like, she doesn't really get super excited about Anthurium. I think she got rid of a lot of her Anthurium, but she loves the King of Spades. Every time my mom was here, she would always comment how much she loves the King of Spades, and I just could never take a cutting for her because I was scared of cutting it just with the rotting, and I wasn't confident that she would be able to grow it from a cutting just because of my track record growing King of Spades from cuttings. So when I had a chance to import it, I knew that, you know, it would be a good opportunity to give her one. So like I mentioned, I gave her the better looking one and I kept the one that was just kind of like so-so. But yeah, I think it would be fun to give her a cutting of this plant since, you know, it's a hybrid of the King of Spades and it has all the features that I think that she likes in an Anthurium. So that is the plan. I think once this leaf hardens off, I will finally take a picture of it for Instagram, and I should probably take a picture of this one too because this is just, whoa, the perfect leaf. Does that not look like a pop socket? Oh, it's so fresh. So yeah, this has to be top 5 favorite plants in my collection, or maybe just top 5 Anthurium. And yeah, I'm just so happy to have it. So thank you again, Dania, for sending that to me. We have another hybrid here. I cannot remember where she got this plant, but this was a cutting from Alice. And this is a Magnificum Kuna lent. And it's turning out really cute. So it was kind of hard to tell. So I think she gave this to me. I don't know if it had, no, it was a stump. So I grew this from a stump. But I took off some of the lower leaves, but it just looked really muted. And it kind of seems like it's getting a little bit more venation in. It's not silver at all. It's very much like, am I thinking of like a Mag Verde or something? I think I'm thinking of a Mag Verde. Sorry, sometimes he chokes on his spit, the poor thing. He's okay, he's all right. Yeah, so this reminds me of a Mag Verde and not so much a Mag, because the Mag Verde has much thinner venation, more muted venation, not silver like a Mag. So to me, if I were to guess, like if I had to guess the hybrid of this without knowing, I would say Mag Verde Kuna. So I'm gonna throw in a picture of a Kuna lent. I really love this plant, but I've heard that it's a nightmare to grow. I heard that you need to put it like in something that is super high humidity with lots of airflow or else it'll rot. I think that a good amount of people have a hard time growing the Kuna lents in ambient conditions or even non-greenhouse conditions, meaning I don't think I'd even be able to grow it in something like this that's like semi-enclosed or something like this. I don't know. I don't really know, but I think I'm much more inclined to own Kuna hybrids rather than a pure Kuna. So happy to have this one. If I had to guess, I want to say that it's gonna end up looking a lot like a Mag Verde, but maybe with a darker leaf. I don't know, you guys. But you know, it's cute right now. I'm not gonna sit here and say this is like the most amazing hybrid I've ever seen, but I am kind of anxious to see how it matures because, you know, Anthurium changed so much in maturity. You never really know. Sometimes you think you know what a plant's gonna look like, and then it reaches a new level of maturity and you're like, this is a totally different plant now. So I think that is where we're headed with this. But yeah, it's looking really good. It did have a little bit of spider mites. You can see some of the damage. I hate how it takes so long to focus now, but yeah, you can see a bit of that damage on there, but I managed to catch it pretty quickly and treated it, so I think it's okay now, hopefully. It's so strange how, like with spider mites, well, really any pest, honestly, it's like I have it in an enclosed space. I kept the same plants in that space, didn't take them out, and then all of a sudden you have like this infestation of spider mites, and I'm like, where did you come from? I feel like they have like these portals from hell that they come through and then they infiltrate your collection. Okay, so I think I have 2 more to show you. This is another one that came from a man. No, not a. Oh, okay. So I think this is one of the plants that we got from, me and Alice got from Woohoo Tropicals in a care package. And I think she had it and gave me a cutting of it from what I can remember. But this is an Ace of Spades Carla Blackier. Not the best leaf to show you, but yeah, this one was growing in a prop box, like a really tiny prop box. And I didn't realize that a leaf had grown, and so it was growing into the lid of it, and it was actually inside of the pot as it was like unfurling. So this was like all curled up. But yeah, I think that given the circumstances, it hardened off pretty well, and it's a beautiful leaf. Holy heckaroni. I feel like in terms of the parents, obviously has the Carla venation, the silver Carla venation, and how it kind of just like drops off at the end. Like the venation doesn't go all the way to the edge of the leaf margin. And Ace, pink sinus, maybe. I can see the tiniest bit of red in the venation. I highly doubt it's gonna pick up on camera. But I think that's where the Ace of Spades comes in. But at this point, I don't think that this is a good leaf to indicate what the rest of the plant is going to look like. I think if I had to guess, the next leaf is going to look quite different. And I don't know why I have that gut feeling. But it's beautiful right now. It has a bit of a thinner leaf. It feels definitely more like a Carla than an Ace. If you've ever owned an Ace has, in my experience, a little bit of a thicker leaf and has a little bit more pebbliness to the texture of the leaf. So I am seeing a lot of Carla, especially like right here where it's like really, really silver, and then it kind of like tapers off and gets a little bit thinner towards the edge of the leaf margin. But yeah, this is another one that I'm excited to grow out. Hopefully I can keep it happy. I honestly get nervous with any kind of Ace hybrid just because I've had such a horrific experience with the Ace of Spades, to the point where I'm getting ready to just get rid of it, because like I said in the beginning of the video, any plant that is just too hard to grow, that I'm not willing to take on as a challenge, and that's bringing me more stress than anything, I'm just over it. And as much as I freaking love the Ace of Spades, at this point in my life, I just don't know if I can deal with the grief and heartache that it's bringing me. Okay, this is the last plant that I'm gonna show you guys, and I feel like I saved the best for last. and that's this one. So this is me and Alice's investment plant together. This is a Fort Sherman Ralph Linum, and it is it's what is there to say about it? Look at her. She is delectable. You could just eat this up. There is virtually no venation on it. All you can see is this little sunburst right here in the sinus, and then it just completely drops off as it gets closer to the leaf margin. It has like a bluish greenish tint to it, very, very iridescent, long, pointy, sinister lobes, nice long leaf. There is nothing bad that I can say about this plant, and honestly, it's been so resilient. I don't think I can show it to you now, but it was a pretty dicey cut. The stem was like probably this long. It was not very long at all. The root that it came with was kind of chopped at the base of it, and so half of the root was missing at the top, and that one eventually rotted off, but I did reroot it in water in a bin, and it bounced right back, and now it has some nice juicy roots to it. The stem is a little bit longer. It's fully calloused now. You should have seen when this plant rotted, these leaves were like taquitos. They were like completely curled in, and I didn't think that it would bounce back, but it bounced back just fine. So hopefully that's a good indication of how this plant will treat me in the future. This is supposed to be an investment plant, meaning I should be taking cuttings of it. Like, the future plan should be that I should be taking propagations of it. But honestly, I'm like, maybe I should just eat the cost of it and just enjoy this plant for what it is and let it try and grow nice and big. Right now I have it growing in here in my exo, but I would eventually like to try and acclimatize this down to ambient conditions, but I probably won't try and attempt to do that until maybe next summer. I don't dare try and acclimatize this to the living room over the winter. It's just not a good plan, especially since I don't have track lights in yet. I don't know if that's going to happen this winter. I just bought a new laptop, and so I am just absolutely strapped for funds. So yeah, my bank account is hurting right now, but yeah, I'm just going to enjoy this, honestly. C'est la vie, right? I will say that with all of the really dark hybrids, Anthurium hybrids or Anthurium going around right now in the community, I feel like this has to be one of the best of the best. I feel like a lot of the Anthurium that are being hyped right now, they all kind of look the same, especially when you're thinking about like a papillolaminum. And yeah, there are different forms, like you have like the Voldemort, for example, which in my opinion is a highly sought after pap. Just because of the really unique features of those really long lobes. But to me, when you see a dark velvety Anthurium, it all just kind of blends in and they all look the same. But I feel like this one has enough of that unique look that separates it from the rest, and it makes it irresistible. Like, I remember seeing a photo of this thinking, man, it would be really nice to have one, but I can't afford it. But you know, when you have plant friends to share funds with, that's the way to go. So I am super beyond happy to have this in my collection, and I just love looking at it. I do think it's a great change in comparison to a lot of the Anthurium that I tend to own. And yeah, hopefully I can get this to flowering size and we can get some really cool hybrids going. I think if I could hybridize any two Anthurium in my collection right now, it would definitely be maybe this as the mother and maybe as a father. That's a really good question. Maybe a red crystallinum? I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah, maybe this as the mother plant and a red crystal as a dad. I don't know how that would translate. Maybe that's not a good one. Okay, maybe this with something really round. I'm thinking something like a dorayaki, but I don't really want that silvery venation of the dorayaki with this plant. I don't know what I would hybridize this with. These days, I don't even know what I look for in Anthurium. I feel like everything's been done and I can't think of anything better. So anywho, those are all of the new plants that I have acquired over the last few months. I really should not bring home any more plants because once all of these teeny tiny guys start going, I don't know what the plan is. My plant shelf out in the living room, which is primarily Anthurium, is already looking really full. I will be shifting things around in the next week in the plant room, just because I think I wanted to grow all my Anthurium out on the first floor because I think it's a little bit too warm in here, especially in the winter or in the summer. It's extremely dry, but I just don't have enough space out there, and so I do think I'm gonna have to utilize this space a little bit better, especially considering I have pared down my Monstera and my philodendron collection by quite a bit. I don't own a lot of Hoyas anymore. I don't own a lot of begonia anymore. My collection is primarily Anthurium. If I had to make a guess, I think it's like maybe 60% Anthurium at this point. So something's got to give. But yeah, I'm really happy to have all of these new plants. I'm happy to have a lot of new wish list plants checked off. And yeah, thank you Palm Street for everything you do for our community. Thank you for sponsoring today's video. Don't forget to download the Palm Street app. I do have a link in the description. You can get a few bucks credit on the app if you use that link. I don't know if you get the credit if you are in Canada and you're using a VPN. I don't see why you wouldn't get it, but just remember, keep in mind, even if you are able to access the app through Canada using a VPN, you still can't purchase unless you have a US address. So that is that. Thank you guys for watching another video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will see you in the next one.